I love these forums. Lots and lots and lots of people here are hilarious. For the past 2 months people have been screaming, yelling, and whining. That last word may in fact be the best way to describe it, to get the Galaxy X. Now that they can get it, what do? They scream, they yell and they whine about. Oh, it uses tier 4 weapon slots and oh, it handles like an elephant. Please fix those. Let me sit here and state the obvious, you should have known, and complaining about it only serves to display your own ignorance. People have been telling you that for the last week, while it was accessible to the master recruiters from the top. When the referral program was announced, it was also made public that the Galaxy X would be a reward for recruiting 5 people. This made a lot of people happy as they were, and for a long time have been looking forward to getting it in the game. Almost the same second as this happens, forum posts started appearing, stating that it should be in the C-store as soon as possible, because insert random reason here, or that it should be obtainable for free in-game, because insert ridiculous reason here. Then the RAF program goes live, and it quickly becomes obvious that there are some bugs preventing the master referees from obtaining their prized ship. This I can understand people getting frustrated about. After all, they did spend either a lot of time getting 5 people to the game or a lot of money getting 5 copies of the game and creating fake accounts, which to me seems pretty dumb, but meh. It is not my money, who am I to judge? At the same time people still complain it should be in the C-store for insert whatever reason. Then finally the ship comes in game. The master referees get their hands on the ship, only to realize that the ship is not the best ship in the game. They openly state that it moves like a 10-ton elephant with lead on its feet and a blindfold. This is how a player in-game described it to me, that it has tier 4 slots, and that the dual cannon slots on it is useless, unless you're lucky enough to get them right in front of you, which most people try to avoid as the lance phaser scares them. Now that the ship is in-game, people start going nuts on the forums. Even more. We want the Galaxy X ship in the C-store, or by some other means. Posts start appearing, even though it is actually still pretty easy to get your hands on. Just go around the internet and offer referral keys to random people. How hard can it be? If you really want it. Now. Finally Cryptic gets enough of the whining and decides to let it onto the C-store. Forum posts explode. There are 2 factions. One faction that thinks the ship should remain a RAF program exclusive, and one that argues that it should be open to all. Both sides already knew that the decision had been made, and Cryptic, overwhelmed by the amount of hate posts, decide to close all posts about the issue. So, the ship finally appears in the game, and what seems like 1 out of 3 players, based on the amount of Galaxy X's in the game that night, rush out to get it. But hey. Big shock. People are still not satisfied. 2,000 points. Are you serious? Tier 4 slots. Are you serious? Slow as an elephant. Are you serious? Let me point out, based on those 3 examples, why I think that the mere notion of complaining about those things are ridiculous. 1. 2,000 C-store points. Now, I don't know the prices in the rest of the world for C points, but here, the price for 2,000 of those points are about the same as a single game plus 1 month subscription. This means that Cryptic is actually losing money because they are not getting the 4 people they would have gotten from the RAF program. Be happy. You're getting the ship at a discount. 2. T4 slots. Try to think a little about the ship. According to the one time the ship has been on screen, it was a refitted, 40-year-old Galaxy class. This means that without ripping out all the interior, making it up to spec would be close to impossible. As seen in all good things, that clearly didn't happen, so it is only natural that the ship would use some low-end tech. You do get the lance phaser, which is the most powerful weapon in game. 3. Movement speed. Those of you who have run cruisers know that they are slow moving tubs. This alone should make it obvious that the Galaxy X would also be slow moving. And of course it is slower than the other cruisers. While being smaller than the usual T5 cruisers, it has significantly more mass compared to size, so of course it would be even slower than the remaining ships. You are getting a nasty heavy hull instead that lets you stay alive a little longer. Apart from that, there is the cloak, but people don't seem to be too concerned with that at the moment, so I won't go into detail about that. Get me an infraction for this, I don't care. But someone has to state this: you're like freaking children who have been spoiled by their parents. Seriously. You got Cryptic to screw over their most loyal customers by making them put the ship in the C-store. You're paying less than Cryptic would otherwise have received through the RAF, and you fail to see the logic in the way the ship was built. You whine and whine, because nothing is ever good enough for you. Hate to break it to you, the world doesn't rotate around you. Other people have needs too, and they are not getting it their way either. Deal with it, instead of being such a wimp. Cryptic is doing a lot to keep most of their customers happy, and in the process they alienate those people who really put effort into keeping the game alive. What did you do to keep the game running?
Anazonda. Thank you for making the laughing my ass off at the Galaxy X thread. I have enjoyed it immensely.